Hi guys, welcome to my first video on Dota after the TI10 predictions. This is Joel Isaiah here, and today I'm making another video on Dota for you guys, and this is the very first one that I'm making. And what I've decided to make for a first time is a TI10 meta report. So in this meta report today, I'll be sharing with you the top 10 supports that I've identified from TI10 and share with you why I think these are the top 10 supports. Perhaps because they are too broken, they are picked up too often, they are on the rise, and they were not seen before previously. So I think that all these supports that I will be mentioning, all of them are supports that even if they may not be conventional, they are currently good supports, and as long as you take some practice and some skills and find them suitable, you will have at least an above 50% win rate with them over time. In this video today, I'll just be sharing the 10 to 6th place for supports, and I plan to make another video to share with you the top 5 supports. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the number 10 support on my list. Coming in number 10 is Elder Titan. So why Elder Titan? Well, you can see I will share with you some reasons why. And let me first just put in a replay. So there are many strengths that Elder Titan has. In fact, Elder Titan is one of the most picked heroes, if not the most picked hero in TI10, and it has about 60% win rate. That's incredible stats. So what are its strengths? One of its first strengths is this. Elder Titan is a hero that has incredibly strong laning. He has strong laning through his second and third spell. The second spell, Astral Spirit, allows him to send a spirit through heroes and creeps, returning to him to giving him bonus movement speed and bonus damage. Even if at level 1 you just send it through 2 heroes, you will get a bonus of 90 damage and 14% move speed. That is a lot. If you add that together with the Natural Order third spell, which reduces base armor and reduces base magic damage, the base armor reduction is around the main hero, the base magic reduction is around the Astral Spirit. If you just reduce the base armor just by 40%, the additional 90 damage that you get from Astral Spirit will do quite a significantly big amount. As such, Elder Titan with its high HP, decent HP regen and movement speed, together with the bonus damage and bonus movement speed, can easily harass an opponent down and make them need to buy more regen or to leave the lane. The next thing that he has is damage amplification from this Natural Order. This is not just good in the lane, but it's also good in team fights because you can take away at least 25% magic resistance, and you can take away perhaps even 20 armor from hero like Terrorblade in fights, and that is a lot of damage reduction and amplification. The next thing is that Elder Titan can scout. Elder Titan can send his Astral Spirit around the map, and he can send the Astral Spirit up to the enemy triangle to scout for stacks or enemy heroes. The fourth thing is that Elder Titan is tanky. He has 60 HP per level gain, and start with about 600 plus HP, as you can see here. Elder Titan start with 720 HP. That's a lot, and so being able to frontline is a valuable asset as a support tool. The last thing is that Elder Titan has unreliable save and ganking. He can do an unreliable save of ally by trying to land an Echo Storm. The main problem is that he may not always successfully land it due to the channel time. This can also serve as ganking because after landing the storm, he can throw out his ulti, or his teammates can follow up with other spells on the heroes that are sleeped. What about his weaknesses? Elder Titan is a hero that I would say, with his toolkit for the Storm and the Splitter, and as well as the Natural Order, he is reliant on his teammates. He needs his teammate to fight around him to get successful ganks, or to at least play around his team. He can't on his own farm very quick or solo enemy heroes. The second is that Elder Titan is skilled based. He is a pretty hard support to play to properly land the storms in every fight or even land the Earth Splitter. The last one is that Elder Titan requires critical thinking. If you want to play this hero, you need to critically think what are the items to go for, whether a Chongque boot or face boot. After that, do you need something like a Force Staff in your team? Do you want to go for a Medallion or Drum or Glimmer Cape? Or can you afford to rush an Aghanim in this game if the game is good? The Aghanim being the one that makes you get spell immunity when your spirit returns to you, as long as you hit a few enemy heroes. So let me recap them. Elder Titan has strong lane, damage M, scouting, frontlining, unreliable save or gank, but he's reliant on his team, he is skill based, and he requires critical thinking. As he has these weaknesses that are pretty big weaknesses, that is why I put him at number 10, because even though he is a great hero, he is not a hero that's easy to use. We need to really think critically, not just about items, but how to play around your team, who you should play around, when you should pick the hero, whether you should scout, whether you should stack, whether you should frontline, and etc. etc. Even he is mainly placed at the POTS 5 and has about 53% rate in high level Immortal Park. So at the top of this each screen you see here, I will put the position that he's usually played as and the win rate he has in Immortal Park recently. Coming in number 9, I have Wyvern. Wyvern also has above 50% win rate at TI and is picked often, mainly as a support. So what is Wyvern's strength? Wyvern has strong laning because he has been buffed. So if you look at Wyvern has a pretty high base mana regen, and because of that, he can spam Shukuchi, which at max level is only 6 seconds, and it's only 60 mana at level 1, and you can only do 100 damage. This allows Wyvern to really continually Shukuchi to run about, not get caught, and yet harass the enemy down. He's highly mobile due to the Shukuchi, and it's not item dependent. For example, you may not need to rush or even get a boots on Wyvern. He also has one of the best saving Aghanim. When you get the axe, you can cast time lapse on your ally, and this time lapse allows you to be able to teleport your ally back 5 seconds in time, restoring their HP and mana. That is probably the best save in the game. So if Wyvern is great with all this, then what makes it number 9? And he even has a close to 55% win rate as a position 4. The main reason is that Wyvern himself doesn't have disables, no slow or stun, so you may need to rely on your teammates to provide the disable. If not, it may be difficult to catch the enemy. Also, Wyvern, I would say, is weaker in losing games. If you fall behind as a team and you are a Wyvern, then it may be hard for you to recover back in the game, because you do not, as a support, you do not provide the disable and you do not provide the burst. Yes, you can weave in and out of the fight and you can slowly harass, but you are not really the one who stun the enemy, or you're not the one who bursts them down with a finger of death. And that's why it's harder to come back on a losing game as Wyvern. Coming in third, I have Winter Wyvern. Number 8. Why is Winter Wyvern number 8 after Elder Titan and Wyvern? Let's look at its strengths. Winter Wyvern is mainly played as a position 5 with 52% in high Immortal Park recently. The main strength I would say that Winter Wyvern has is the ability to heal and save, with just the Cold Embrace. This Cold Embrace spell allows him to, for 4 seconds, make your ally immune to physical damage. This can be very effective against enemy carry hitting your ally, like a PA, and you can heal them up significantly. Together with the 20 plus 25 HP per second Cold Embrace talent and the max out of this, you can heal your ally by maybe easily at least 500 HP, which is more than a salve. It also functions as a save. If you watch the TI and you see Team Spirit pick Winter Wyvern, the Winter Wyvern always manage to save Collapse, Magnus or others, so that the enemies like OG or Secret fail to burst down the hero that was co-embraced. Next is Winter Wyvern has incredible team fighting. He can provide the vision in fight, Arctic Burn to slow enemies, Splinter Blast to slow an area. He can save an ally in the fight, and he can use Winter Curse to possibly even land on all 5 enemy heroes and take out one. And the curse lasts for at least 4.5 seconds, which is really long, allowing your own allies to get into position. Winter Wyvern also can scout. With this first spell, Arctic Burn, you can fly in the air, allowing you to pass through cliffs and pass through ward spots, scout for enemy wards, escape the enemy jungle or enter the enemy jungle, and have bonus night vision. That is something that is valuable. If Winter Wyvern can do so much in team fights, can heal and can save and can scout, why is he number 8 only? That's because she has a weak laning. If you look at her stats, she doesn't have that great armor, she is very slow at moving and she has low attack. If you up something like the Arctic Burn at level 1, yes, it's a great spell, but the cooldown is 38 seconds, which is even longer than a crit wave spawning, so you don't provide that much initially inside the lane. Also, Winter Wyvern is reliant on the team. As a support, especially as a boss fight, you don't farm very fast. You can use Splinter Blast to farm to some extent and push the waves, but aside from that, let's say you want to fight an enemy, you can't really do that alone, because after you throw out your spells and throw out your ulti, the Winter Curse, you disable the guy, but usually as a support you can't kill them. You need to play around your team and capitalize on fights like 5v5, 4v4s. She also has a slow move speed and doesn't have that much HP, so she can be burst down the moment she's gone on. So even then, she has a great toolkit. So as long as you can position right, you can get past the lane and play around your team, Winter Wyvern is a great pick. Coming in number 7, it's one that you may not have expected, Tidehunter. Tidehunter was one of the most picked heroes. He has a positive win rate, and although he's mainly played as an off lane, he's starting to be picked up as a support even in TI10. So what is Tidehunter's strength? Currently in the past week, his win rate is not that great as a pos 5, but he is still being picked as a position 5. Tidehunter has a strong laning presence. If you look at Tidehunter, he has high HP, higher than Elder Titan, 3 HP regen, decent move speed, 2.5 armor, and high base damage. This allowed him, especially with his level 1 Gush, to reduce the enemy to do 110 damage, reduce armor and slow, just for 100 mana. That is a very powerful tool for you to zone out the enemy off lane or the enemy position 4. Tide also has strong team fighting because the Gush provides quite a lot of slow and armor reduction, and you can also stand inside fights with the Kraken Shell. You can reduce damage if you are near to the enemy heroes, and most of all, you can ravage and you may even land on all 5 enemy heroes for up to a 2.4 second stun even at level 1 ravage. That is very powerful for winning a team fight. Also, because Tide is so tanky on its own with the Kraken Shell, and you already have slows and stun, you can focus on building team items like Pipe, like Glimmer, Lotus Orb, Solar Crest. And if you build these items, like especially a Pipe, if the enemy has a lot of spells, you are providing a lot to the team. You yourself block physical damage, you have the Kraken Shell Dispel, and you have a high magic resistance from the Pipe, and yet you also give that to your whole team. That is very valuable if a support can do that. So thus, Tide has the ability to farm. Not all supports have great ability to farm, but let's say if nothing much is happening, no fight is breaking out, you can go to small camps or even help to clear a creep wave that nobody is pushing with your anchor smash. Even if the enemy goes on you and they find you alone, you may still be able to walk away because of the Kraken shell. Or if all of them go on you and your ally is coming, you can just press the ravage button and win the fight. So Tide is great. He can frontline, he can team fight, he can buy the team items, he has the ability to farm. The main weakness that Tide has is his long ravage cooldown. The cooldown is 2.5 minutes, which is very long, but that doesn't mean that he's useless without it. He is still useful if he has team items, and also he can still use his other spells like Gush and Anchor Smash to still be active to some extent. Tide also other weakness is his positioning. As a position 5, you may not really have the Blink Dagger unless you really farm it up. Otherwise, you need to take note of your positioning, not to dive too deep in to tank even the enemy tower and end up dying even though you have Kraken Shell. At the same time, you need to be able to enter the fights in the right angle, perhaps without being spotted. Otherwise, it's hard for you to land multi-hero Ravage. That's why positioning matters on this hero. But that is not a lot of weaknesses. He is still an extremely powerful tool as a position 5 to the team. Coming in number 6 is Bane. Bane is also one of the most picked supports, and he has a very high win rate. I think it was even 70%. One of the main teams that played Bane was Team Spirit, who won the whole thing. As a position 5, he has 55% win rate in high immortal pub in the past week. What is Bane's strength? Strong laning as well. Look at Bane. He has a high HP for a range support, decent HP regen 2.5, he has very high armor and has high movement speed and high attack damage. All of this is not common on a range support, but Bane has it. And then if you use Enfeeble at level 1, with just 40 mana you can reduce the enemy attack a lot and health regen, like when they are using a Tango. Or if not, you could also just go for Brain Set and do 75 pure damage to the enemy while healing yourself for 75. Together with all your HP, movement speed, armor and attack, you can easily win against the enemy support or even harass down the enemy off lane. So Bane also has this in his toolkit. You can save, disable or gang. How does he save, disable or gang? You can save allies through this spell called Nightmare, where you sleep the enemy for at least 4 seconds from level 1. It even deals pure damage, 35 pure damage per second at max level. The sleep is up to 7 seconds, and if you sleep an enemy hero, he's out of the fight until a fellow teammate hits him. And that's a very powerful disable removing tool. You can also use this Nightmare on your own ally if the enemy is hitting them, so that your ally doesn't take the damage and the enemy ends up sleeping. You could also save disable through the Fiend Script, where you press it pierces even BKB, and the target that you press is just a helpless person that's going to take damage and drain mana. And so that is why he's very powerful as a ganker. You can sleep one opponent and then Fiend Grip the other, so essentially 2 enemy heroes are already out of action. Of course, in a 5v5, there might be other enemies that are trying to go on you, but as a position 5, if you are able to take out 2 enemies from action, that is really very powerful. Bane also can scout. If you do not know, most heroes have 1.8k day vision and 800 night vision. But for Bane, he has 1.8k day vision and 1.2k night vision, which is 400 more than other heroes. This allows him to be able to scout and start fights at night, or to spot enemies who smoke, and to just provide more vision. The weakness for Bane is, I would say, is awareness. You know how his skills work, but that doesn't mean that you may be able to successfully use them in every fight. To be able to successfully land Nightmare Sleep on one enemy, and then Fiend Grip on another, and then don't get stopped by the enemy from channeling the Fiend Grip, you need to be aware of your positioning, when to enter the fight, who to sleep, who to Fiend Grip, and etc. Also, Bane is reliant on the team. On his own, he doesn't farm fast. Yes, you could get the shard, but as a position 5, you may not really get the shard. The shard makes your brain set a 550 AoE spell which you can use on quick waves, but even with the shard, you cannot one-shot the quick wave with this spell. So Bane cannot farm fast to push, and also in fights, you're not really able to slow enemy down unless you have a lot of levels like a max brain set, high level fear and grip. Otherwise it's hard for you to solo unless the enemy is really low HP. Besides, if you try to solo with a fear and grip, others may come to stop you and kill you if you're alone. So Bane is reliant on playing around his team. Bane, I would say, is also weaker in losing games, because in a losing game, you will not be able to get items. You won't be able to get like Force Staff, you won't be able to get Aether Lens, you won't be able to get Glimmer Cape or BKB, and a lot of times you will need these items like Force Staff, Glimmer Cape, BKB in order to save yourself or to protect yourself when you're channeling the Fiend's Grip, or to save your allies, which is Bane's main role, either to disable or to save. And if losing games, and as well as how you are a slow farming hero, it will be difficult for you to come back into the game because you can't protect yourself when you are channeling Fear and Grip, or you don't have the items to save others. So with that, the top 5 heroes that I have are top 10 to 6 hero is Elder Titan, with many benefits like laning and amplification, but the main issue is that he's a skill based hero with critical thinking. Coming in 9 is Wyvern. He is strong laner, mobile and not item dependent, but main issue is that he lacks disable. Coming number 8 is Wyvern. He can save and provide a lot of team fight, but early game not so good, and he's reliant on his team. Coming number 7, Tidehunter. Tidehunter has strong laning, strong team fight, but the main problem is that he has a long CD for Ravage. Coming number 6 is Bane. Bane's main strength is the save, disable and ganking toolkit, but the main issue he has is that he's reliant on the team and weakened in games that you are losing. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed this TI10 meta report for supports for the 10 to 6 place, and if you like this, please let me know so that I can quickly make and share with you the top 5 supports from number 5 to number 1 from the TI10 meta. Also, if you have any other comments, whether you agree that these heroes, the Elder Titan, Wyvern, Wyvern, Tide and Bane, do you agree that these heroes are meta? Do you think that they will be good when you play them in pubs? If you agree or disagree, or have any other thoughts that you want to share, please share them in the comments and we can have an interesting discussion together. With that, thank you. Like, subscribe, and I look forward to discussing with you. Thank you.